Good evening. I want to talk today a little bit about some stuff for beginner guitar players. A lot of the videos on my channel are more advanced, but that's not the bulk of what I do. Obviously, you know, being a guitar player, you teach a lot of people that are just starting out. And I've been teaching for a while now. I've noticed a few things that I wanted to kind of touch base on and show you that can help you get started if you've never played guitar. And the real simple things that you can do without a whole lot of thought to help you get control of guitar playing. Um, Obviously, when you play guitar, you're using two hands, right? But you can break it down and do a number of things with either hand and work on those kinds of things to get you started. And it goes back to when I first picked up a guitar and started messing around. I didn't really start playing for a few years after that, but I did, like, I'd pick up my dad's guitars and do just random cheesy patterns with the pick or whatnot, and I found that those things actually kind of help. You know, they make a big difference in your control and understanding of your hand and where it sits in space versus whatever guitar you play. When you start playing guitar, whatever your pick choice is, you need to like keep control of that pick. So I recommend, just like a baseball bat or whatever, softball bat, whatever you need, you choke up on that pick so you have control of it. If you're picking like this and you're clear out, that pick is going to move every time it hits a string, and that's not a good thing. So this is a Jazz 3, it's a small pick, so I choke up on it so barely any sticks out. I have complete control. If using a standard size pick, you know, something like this Dunlop here, you don't do, I guess it's a PV, looks like a Dunlop. You don't do this because when it hits a string, it's going to wiggle and you're going to lose control. I choke up no matter what the pick, no matter what the size. Keep it as close to the tip as possible so you have control. And it's like almost like pointing at the string, getting what you need out of it. That's one thing to look at, especially with your picking hand, left or right, whatever. I say right hand through the video, but I mean picking hand in general. Okay, so another thing to think about when you're starting is how you pick. I want you to start with a downstroke. You do both downs and ups, but your home base should be a downstroke. It should be your power. You know, you're working with gravity, and that really helps. And it goes back to when you tap your foot, and I recommend tapping the same side as your picking hand. In my case, the right hand picks, the right foot taps. You just put your foot, tap the foot on the floor, and count to 4, and make sure that your pick hits the string the same time as your count. And I'm going to hit the big string. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm doing it on the big string, but I want you to do it on all the strings. Do it like count to 4 through 3, 4, moving on. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next string. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next string. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Final string. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the pace I go at is comfortable for me. After playing for a long time, it's no problem. I went slow for me, but you go however slow you have to keep that even. Being able to do anything evenly and cleanly is a huge thing, you know. That's going to translate into better, efficient picking and speed down the road. So if you have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever speed, even slower, 1, 2, 3, 4. You have to do that to get control. You don't want to go fast where it's easy and slow where it's not, because you'll never get control. And that's something you need to work on. Now that's just downstrokes. That's home base. 1, 2, 3, 4. Foot hits the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4. Picks moving in the same direction. Now, the other thing to think about is what happens in between. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So when the foot's in the air, the pick's coming up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That's how we count what's called eighth notes. 4 beats, 1, 2, 3, 4, the ands, 4 ands, 4 plus 4, 8, eighth notes, okay? So doing the same thing I just did, but with the eighth notes. It's if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, my count's going to be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. My pick will strike down on the numbers, up on the ands on one string, and I'm going to do kind of the same thing. I'll do a couple measures, you know, a couple counts of 4 for each string. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right, so you want to do those kinds of things and repeat them, and that's going to help you move on into the next phase, which is combinations and whatnot. And what I like to talk about is playing leapfrog. If you know what leapfrog is, it's a simple, you know, jump and jump, you know, kind of like this. And I do that with the strings. I'll go the 6th string, the 5th string. Sorry, the 6th, the 4th, the 5th, the 3rd. I'm jumping, going back one and jumping, okay? So like this string, then the 4th string, this string, and so on. You know, something like that. Just kind of random. It's hard to do when I've got the guitar like that, but just being able to do it kind of straight. And then add your picking into it. And that's using the up and down, you know, the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and at a higher speed. You don't necessarily want to do that right away. You get control of the singles like I was doing. Just kind of feeling my way through it. And then you do your downstrokes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's going to help you get real control of what range your hand has to travel to play all the strings, you know. And you'll find that you'll pick up your buddy's guitar or whatever, and it's suddenly very hard to play things you play all the time on your own guitar. There are subtle differences in string spacing, different bridges and everything else that does make it physically harder to play different guitars. And the more guitars you play, you'll find you get a little more control across the board, and that's what happens, okay? So I would do those kinds of things when I'm starting out, just working on my pick. And whatever songs your guitar teacher or you find on YouTube you really like, you know, working on those things, simple melodies and stuff. And another thing for you to work on is simple hand control, right? So I talk in other videos about these permutations and these crazy ideas. For starting out, I just want really, you work on little tiny things like playing like one finger followed by the next on the next fret. And just get really good at doing 2 fingers. Then try to do the next 2 fingers, the middle, which might be harder, and then the last 2. Something like that. And then I try to do like 3 fingers. Then the next 3 fingers. And then doing all 4. Then of course doing all those ideas backwards. The 3s. And the other 3. and then the twos. That's like a basic like start, you know, something like that. And that I played it starting on the 5th fret with my first finger, 6th with my second, 7th with my third, and 8th with my pinky finger. It doesn't have to be there. And I played everything on the small string. You can play it whatever string you want, wherever on the neck it's comfortable, and you can move it around. Those kinds of things will help you get control of your guitar playing. They are really just exercises. I mean, but they do have real world applications. You know, they come into play. If you need to play 2 notes, being able to do that quickly or whatever, that's going to be something that's going to be needed to be done. You know, and sometimes you'll use different fingers to play different ideas. You know, leading with the ring finger in some cases. Whatever it might be, and those types of things are formed in controlling your hands. All right. So those are some basic principles for you to kind of look at and practice. If you like what you see, throw down a like, subscribe to this channel. I've got all kinds of tips. I've been playing for, unbelievable to say this today, but I am at the point where I've been playing for 29 years. And it's a lot of fun, and there's always something new to learn. But these are things that I picked up on and kind of had forgotten about for a long time until I started teaching years ago. And I found that it's a good thing to understand that even those random things you do on your guitar, messing around without your fretting hand, they have a purpose, and they do pay off in the long run. But yeah, like I said, throw a like at the video, subscribe to the channel. I've got more tips and stuff, and I'll keep coming at YouTube with all kinds of ideas as time moves on. But I appreciate you watching us and hanging out. If you want to see what kind of guitars we have for sale here at BRG Music, you can check out our website at www.brgmusic.com and pay attention. We're always getting new stuff in, and love to share music and guitar playing and different ideas. And appreciate your time today. Thanks a lot.